Hello everyone, I am Monica with my friend Dinia. We are going to discuss about India and China relations.
Action.
Starting with our intro. India and China are celebrating 70 years of diplomatic relations with 70 special events including cultural, religious and trade promoting activities. They decided on these events during a meeting in 2019. Back in 1950, India was the first non socialist country to establish diplomatic ties with China. Both countries were powerful in Asia before Western imperialism. There used to be a popular saying that Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai means India and China are brothers. However, in the 20th century, they had difficulty figuring out to deal with each other. Now, they are playing activity to strengthen their ties like parliamentary exchanges, tracing their shared history. They will also focusing on boosting business and trade with China hosting forum and investment and drug regulation in India. Now let's talk about historical background of the countries. Ancient civilization. India and China have been connected for a long time, even in ancient history as well. They traded goods, ideas and culture along the Silk Road, the famous trade route, and Buddhism, which started in India and traveled to China, making their bond even stronger. Looking forward to the modern history. In the 90s, India and China became the independent country from the foreign rules. India got its freedom from British in 1947 when China formed its own government, the People's Republic of China, in 1949. At first, they were friendly and helped each other during the fights for independence. Now moving towards border conflict and war. In 1950 and 1960, India and China had arguments over their shared borders. This led to a war in 1962, where India lost some land to China. Since then, they have not solved the border problem yet, and still a big issue between them. With this, moving towards economic engagement, in past few years, India and China have tried to work together more on business stuff like buying and selling, investing in each other countries. China has become India's biggest trading partner. They have made deals and plans to help their economic work better together. But sometimes they argue because one country might be selling more stuff to other country, or there are problems with getting into other markets. Now let's talk about what exactly India-China relations. So there are areas of cooperation. India and China have collaborated in areas such as trade, investment, technology, and cultural exchanges. Both countries have shown interest in enhancing people to people contacts and promoting terrorism also. Current issue of relations. Current state of relations. In recent years, India and China have sought to improve their relations with a focus on economic cooperation and regional security. However, tension remains there, particularly over issues such as border dispute, trade imbalance, and China growing influence in the region. Now let's talk about the diplomatic efforts. High-level diplomatic dialogues have been held to address bilateral issues and promote understanding. But still, both the countries have established various mechanisms for regular communication and consultations. Now let's talk about political relations. Diplomatic engagements. India and China talk a lot to each other at different levels, like having an important meeting and summits. They do this to understand each other better, to solve problems and work together on things they both care about. India and China also have a political cooperation with each other. India and China work together in different groups like political United Nations, BRICS, and Shanghai Cooperation Organization. They both want peace, stability, economic growth, and in the region. They also share their cultures, let people meet each other, and collaborate the economic stuff. Now have a look towards military standoff. The military standoff between India and China refers to the ongoing conflicts and tensions along their shared borders. In recent years, the border disputes between the two countries have escalated and leading to multiple confrontation and standoffs. So there are some recent conflicts between both the countries. The border dispute and military confrontation have also occurred in other areas such as Pangong Lake at Doklam. In 2020, a major military clash occurred in the Galwan Valley, also resulting in the casualties on both the sides. This incident further intensified the tensions between the two countries. There are major tensions along the borders between both the countries. The unresolved border issues and differing perception in the line of actual control have contributed to the ongoing tensions between India and China. Now, both the countries have increased their military presence along the border, leading to a heightened risk of further conflicts. Now, more about border disputes and areas of cooperation among India and China will be delivered by Dinia.
Let's talk about the India and China economic relations. Investment relations. China is one of India's largest investors with investment in sectors such as infrastructure, energy, and technology. India has also been investing in China, particularly in the manufacturing sector. Trade relations. India and China have been working towards increasing trade and investment ties. In 2019, the two countries signed a trade agreement to reduce tariff and increase bilateral trade. Trade imbalance between India and China. Overview. India and China have a significant trade imbalance, with China being the largest trading partner of India. In 2019, India's exports to China were $18.6 million, while China exports to India were $73.5 billion. This imbalance has led to concern about the impact on India's economy and the potential for China to exert influence over India's policies. Areas for collaboration. Despite the trade imbalance, there are potential areas for collaborating between India and China. One area is technology, where both countries have significant expertise and can benefit from collaboration. Another area is infrastructure development, where China has a strong track record of investing in infrastructure projects in other countries. By collaborating on these areas, India and China can mutually benefit and potentially reduce the trade imbalance. India China cultural relation. Cultural exchanges. India and China have a rich cultural heritage with many opportunities for cultural exchange and cooperation. This can include joint performances, exhibitions, and educational programs. Environmental cooperation. India and China have a shared responsibilities to address environmental challenges such as air and water pollution, deforestation, and climate change. Both countries can collaborate in areas such as renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and conservation efforts. Border disputes. India and China have a long history of border disputes, with both countries claiming certain territories as their own. These disputes have led to conflict and tension between the two nations. Like territory Aksai Chin, India's claim part of Indian state of Jammu Kashmir, and China's claim controlled by China as part of a Xinjiang Rhine. Sino-India Indian War in 1962. Second, Arunachal Pradesh, which is integral. Future prospects. Potential area for cooperation. First, explore opportunities for trade and investment in sectors such as technology, renewable energy, and infrastructure development. Second, cultural exchanges. Foster cultural exchanges and promote people to people interaction to enhance mutual understanding and build trust. Environmental cooperation. Address shared environmental challenges such as air and water pollution and work towards the sustainable development. Now, challenges to overcome. First is border disputes. Resolve ongoing border disputes through diplomatic negotiation and maintain peace and stability in other regions. Second, trade imbalance. Address the trade imbalance between the two countries by promoting balanced and fair trade practices. Third, geopolitical competition. Manage geopolitical competition and ensure that it doesn't escalate into conflict that could harm bilateral relations. Fourth, Trust and transparency. Build trust and improve transparency in bilateral relations through open and constructive dialogue. Conclusion. In conclusion, India China relations are complex and multifaceted, marked by a combination of cooperation, competition, and occasional tensions. Both countries share a long history of cultural and economic exchanges but also face challenges, particularly regarding border disputes and strategic rivalry. The relationship between India and China holds significant implications not only for the two nations but also for regional and global stability. Moving forward, sustained dialogue, mutual respect for sovereignty, and cooperation on common challenges such as climate change and economic development are essential for fostering a stable and constructive relationship between these two Asian giants.